Hey, what's up, Pray for Traction fam? Coming back to you with an update about the Impala. So if you've been following along, got the 64 Impala right here, near and dear to my heart. Been having some issues with the specialty work on it that I can't do myself. And if you've watched the last video, I've kind of bounced around, told you like I had it at a drive shaft shop. They weren't able to make the one that I wanted. And then me and the guy that I had to do all of my exhaust work kind of went professionally our separate ways. And I was looking for another exhaust shop to get it done. Currently just got back from one. We're about to find out what this thing sounds like finally. And I was going to tell you guys that I was going to show you everything basically that I've done to the car, because I've having been do a whole lot of work before I've gotten to where I'm at right now. So we'll go ahead and touch base on that. All right, so where do I begin? I guess ultimately, obviously this thing has an LS swap and the engine wasn't running. It actually almost seemed like it was blown up. So there's a lot of diagnostics going into getting this engine running, but ultimately what it really turned out being was the fuel pressure regulator needed to be replaced. It was leaking through, so if you're familiar with how these work, the vacuum line, the diaphragm and the one that was on it, it was pouring fuel through the vacuum line and basically putting all that fuel in the engine. So then we diagnosed a no spark issue, got that going, and she ran. So we did this intake here. Finally got an air filter on it, because basically we were just running the open throttle body, and we were figuring out how to get this a throttle cable adapted. I have a old Yukon over there that I was going to part out, and I stole the factory throttle cable from it, as well as the bracket, because as you can see, this is a LM7, so it's out of a truck, but it has a car intake on it. So the brackets for the throttle cables are different from the trucks to the cars. So if you can see, this was welded, so it was cut it and welded. So basically the truck and the car throttle cable bracket was Frankenstein together to make one work on this. Whole new wiring harness put on the engine. This one's done as standalone since it's a 64 Impala. It you know, it's basically bare bones, so it doesn't need anything more than a standalone. I don't have any O2 sensors yet, because I literally just got the exhaust done. After that, the brake booster. So we had to, get the brake booster on. I ordered custom lines that were pre-bent for this setup, and then down here on the steering box, this is a aftermarket power steering box. I had to contact the company to find out the exact coupler right there that I needed in order to adapt this steering box to the factory steering of this rod here. So finally got that put in, and let's see, what else have we done? The radiator, the fan wasn't working, so right now we just have it put on a key, so it just comes on whenever the key comes on, which I'll fix that when I get to it. Had to raise the radiator up a couple inches to get it up high enough so that all the steering down there cleared. And I've ran 100,000 grounds to this thing. It was part of when I was diagnosing the no start issue. Down underneath there's the overflow that we did, but if we go underneath the car, you can see it has tie rod end links and the sleeves. I think the only thing that we didn't replace on this was just that center link bar. And then I've got some brand new lower ball joints, because as you can see, these are pretty much gone. But the exhaust on this thing, it had just these headers, and I needed to adapt them and take them up under the car, but also keep them high up to the frame, because I'm building this to a lowrider, so when I set it down on the ground, I don't need the exhaust to scrape. So that's why I was taking it to a shop. So there was another shop that I was going to go to before I eventually went to the shop that I did for the exhaust, and they told me to order Dynamax, what are the Ultra Flows, for a straight in and a straight out in a 2.5. So that's what I ordered. And I also ordered a stainless steel kit for the specially mandrel bent for the car. Whenever I took it to the exhaust shop and I got, dropped it off, got about 15 minutes down the road, he called me and was like, hey, Jaquay, the mufflers that you ordered are wrong. You were actually supposed to get, offset mufflers and not the straight ones. So I was like, well, that was, what the guy told me to buy. So I'll just, send this back. And he's like, well, I know you're trying to get this thing done. So I've got some Flowmaster, Flow FX. So I told him, I was like, you know what, fuck it, put them on there, because I wanted to get this thing fired up and hear what the exhaust sounded like. But I didn't want it to sound, like one of those squatted trucks or anything, like real clappy or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the other thing that they had to do was, these headers are 3-inch, so they had to go from 3-inch to 2.5 and go down and do a 90. So I'll show you guys a picture of what he sent me after they got them done, so you can really see. Because if I just go up under the car, I mean, it's really hard to see what was done. But in this video, we're going to do a startup. Like, I haven't even fired this thing up. But as you can see, the trailer's right here. I just winched it off the trailer, and because I still don't have a drive shaft, that's our next venture. But actually, let me show you this. I got one. So now just have to Frankenstein one together and see if I can get done what a professional shop couldn't. So hopefully the phone, I don't have my good camera. You probably got a lot of wind noise on this, so I apologize for that. But hopefully this will pick up the exhaust and it sounds good. And drumming on the car, you can see Slick Rick over there. What's up, man? So yeah, you're gonna hear it the same time that we are. So let's do it. All right, bear with me. I still don't have the gauge cluster in here yet. I have it, just haven't installed it. Prime the pump once, twice. Let's fire it up. What do you think, Slick Rick?
Yeah, that's loud.
It's not open header no more. Seems like we're coming out right back here by the tire. Just how I like it, because I can't do out the back because I'll crush it when I set the car down on hydros. Oh man. Wow. Honestly, I was kind of scared, because a lot of Flowmasters, they'll it's pretty much Super 44s is what's on like every truck. Like any kind of truck going down the road's got a loud ass exhaust. It's got a Flowmaster Super 44. I mean, that's what it is. So the Flowmaster brand, when he's like, I got some Flow FXs, I'm like, I don't know, because I didn't really want this thing to sound like that. But honestly, in person, hopefully this is coming across. I mean, this has got a nice little deep rumble to it. Let's give it a little bit of gas. See what it sounds like. Oh shit, that gets loud. Wow. And it's nice and quiet at idle, but whenever you rev it up, it gets pretty damn loud. Like, you gotta understand also what this is. This car has an X frame on it. So that means you can't normally put a, like a traditional X pipe on something, or a crossover H pipe. So it's a full true dual exhaust. So it's a header down to the collector, and then it goes to the Flow FX 2.5, and then it goes to the 2.5 stainless out to the rear tires. So I mean, it's loud. I can't wait till I get you know, on the better camera, so hopefully it'll come across a little better. But what do you think, Victor?
Sounds great. Better than it was.
Much better. I mean, before those open headers, I mean, I'm
Really
sure
loud.
I'm sure you've heard what open headers sound like. But right now, what we're going to do is I was replacing some radiator hoses with someone else, and the bottom one, the clamp was bad. So we need to make sure that we have coolant topped off. I put 1 gallon of this Prestone in it with the Dex Cool for the GM. So I guess we'll go ahead and add some more to it. All right, guys. So lots kind of happening with the car. I guess I'll put a brief video of me moving it around in the parking lot here. All right, so we're gonna fire it up and see if we can put it around the block. Maiden voyage. Don't click to drive, but oh yeah, I forgot there's no power steering yet. Brakes is touchy.
These things weren't designed with no disc. It's mean disc brake back in the day.
We're moving. Uh-oh. Caught second.
I think you ought to get used to pretty dry.
Oh yeah. Holy shit. Second. Uh-oh. Oh no, that's not good. Damn. May need a tranny.
That was just third, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could be a shit still on one. What's that?
Love
Good. Happy for you.
it. Took the car out for a drive after getting everything together, and first and second was great. And then whenever it went to catch third, it was like neutral. So, you know, I had no information about the transmission. But instead of taking all these, I don't know, instead of wasting a whole lot of time, I just contacted Monster. You know, they've got a great reputation. So sent the transmission down to Monster where it's currently at, and they're building it to withstand like 500 horsepower or something. You know, this is going to be in a lowrider, so I'm not doing a lot of performance with this car. Like, it's LS swap just for reliability, but I should have the transmission back relatively soon. They've had it for a while. But just wanted to update you guys and show you kind of how the car is sitting at the moment. So I've got some new headlights, new headlight bezels that I'm going to be putting in. I've got the lowrider wheels swapped onto the car now. Brand new 13x7s, 100 spoke reverse, new white wall tires. A lot of people don't know that they're blue originally, and then after clean them, they go down to the white. But changed the rear diff fluid in it. Got the new LED tail lights that I'm just buttoning up some wiring on. And got it lifted up off the ground, so we were able to get the transmission out. And then hopefully we'll get it back from Monster soon and get it put in. Can't wait for that. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. Like, I love you all so much with all the support and going on this journey with me with the Impala and all my other shenanigans, because it's not just this car that you guys are seeing now. We've got Thick Filet, and of course we've got the BRZ. So until next time, guys.